I want to welcome everybody to our webinar tonight. And I basically called the webinar the Millionaire Mindset. I did a couple of webinars in the past, and I just dug into what I have done in the past and wanted to bring it out and share it with you all. Now, this particular little PowerPoint, I have two PowerPoints that we're going to be looking at, and we're going to go through one, and then we're going to go through the other one. The other one is a much longer PowerPoint. This is only a couple of slides, kind of just a warm-up before we get going. I want you to keep in mind that when I had built IML and we designed it, it was for both the trader, the network marketer, the entrepreneur, the person that wants to be in business for themselves, the person that wants to be successful, the people who are successful already that want to learn how to trade. So we have a multitude of type of people that we can attract with IML. And we also, the type of people we want to attract are the type of people that work very, hold on, let me just adjust my video thing here so I could see something. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Here we go. The people we attract to IML are this very same people that are entrepreneurial. All right, you're not going to come into a business that takes into consideration trading and network marketing and not have an entrepreneurial spirit where you want to be successful. The business is not intended for somebody to come in and sit around. It's intended for those that are hungry, that those that want to be successful, that those want to go out and create something. That was the original and still is the intention with iMarkets Live. And over the past 14 years, I've been educating people both on trading and on the mindset. They go hand in hand. Prior to my trading, and all through the 90s, I was in network marketing, and I had traveled the globe bringing network marketing businesses, well, one company in particular, and I traveled the globe. I was a contractor, but I also loved network marketing. I saw what it does for people. I see the excitement. And I brought it to different countries. I went to Poland and Hungary and the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Colombia, all over the world. Asia. I went all over the planet. And I would go for a month at a time, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I would go back again and again. And I built a very, very successful business on a global basis back in the 90s. I'm excited about that. And residual income is true. It actually does last for a lifetime. Now, what is important is I had loved network marketing. I loved the principles of success, the mindset, and what it does for you. All right. It keeps you young. It keeps you excited. It keeps you vibrant. Give me two people. I don't care where they're from. Give me the same age. Let them be in their older years, 60s, 70s, 80s. And give me one person who doesn't have a drive and one person that does have a drive. And then take somebody else, 30 years old, one that has a drive and doesn't have a drive to be successful. And you give me somebody who's in their 70s and 80s, because I know we have members in our live room that I speak to, the live trading room. Gentleman is 85 years old and he's got more energy and vigor than some of the people that I meet are 25 and 30. He wants to be successful. He's excited about starting a new career. That's exciting. So when you can compare people where their mindset is at, you can look at them and they look younger, they act younger, they speak younger. It's vibrance. And it has to come from inside you. They call it energy, aura, whatever it may be called. It's coming from inside you and coming out through your mouth, through your eyes, what you listen to. I have to be honest with you. When I'm around people and they start opening their mouth in the negative, my ears close. It must be some flaps. It just shuts off. And I don't entertain negative conversations. I try to stop it and try to go in a positive direction because I don't see any point to could fight or argue or listen to or have somebody have a negative situation. If they're having a negative situation, I try to help them overcome it. Now, I'm not talking about just IML. I'm talking about anything in life, friends, family. And it's one thing you want to do is always put out that positive. Maybe some things you want to do is I'll get into later on. But there are some ingredients for success. Now, whether you are already successful or not, and some people say to me, Chris, I'm already successful. I earn X amount. I'm successful. I don't need this stuff. And I just have to say, compared to who? See, if you're talking about success in terms of you being a teacher in a school or a minister, a priest, or somebody who just likes to help, a volunteer, that's one type of success. Okay? The other type of success is obviously the financial success, and it's what most people focus on because it's very hard to be positive if you can't pay your bills and you don't have money to eat. Let's call it what it is. Let's all be honest with each other. All right? There's different levels of success, but if you're starving, that's not exciting, and it's very hard to stay motivated if you're not in an environment where you can grow. So I give my hats off to those in those other worlds and what their term of success is, but I'm looking at this in terms of financial success, because if you can have financial success, you can do greater things. You could help people become financially successful. And that's what the grassroots of the network marketing, of IML, of trading is. Once you're successful, you can help other people to do the same. Now, looking at the mindset, again, when I ask people, when they tell me they're already successful, and you compare them, you have to compare to who? Compare yourself to Donald Trump. You're pretty poor, right? So I always like to seek out successful people that are much more successful than me. I'm always seeking out successful people that have much more than me, people that are going places that I haven't been. It's so important that you put your focus on, your blinders on, and you want to focus and chase that dream, chase the people, the very people that you want to become. I don't want to become the guy who has less than me. I respect him for trying to move forward, but I can't learn to be successful from somebody who's less successful. It's just my attitude of the way I look at it. I want to see somebody who's earning X amount of money and has X amount of lifestyle, and I want to ask the questions. How did you get there? What are you doing to get there? All right? And you have to be hungry for success. You have to program your mind for it, and you have to speak your way to it and surround yourself with success. Now, this picture you see on the screen, I did this several years ago. This is well before IML was even thought out. So what we're doing today and what I'm going to share today was way before IML. I just pulled it right out of my trunk of stuff that I've done and want to bring it back to the forefront because it's last the test of time. All right. And there's only a couple of pages on this one. Now, I'm going to get to this one on the next page, but on the next webinar, I'll get to that second page. Picture's not showing on the screen. Can you guys, I see it on my other screen. Can you see it? Okay, you're okay now. All right, you want to seek out people who are successful. And to be successful, you need to seek out people who are successful and emulate everything they do in their field of work. If you do as a successful person does X things, then you'll become that person also. And my story is an example back in 1997. I seeked out this lady. Her name was Linda Rashke. She was in a book called New Market Wizards, and she was an extremely successful trader. And I seeked her out back when the internet was in its infancy. She didn't have a website. She had some little blog. But she was in a book, and she was rated one of the top traders in the world. And I did what I had to do. I searched and searched and searched, and I got a message to her, and she messaged me back. And I still actually have that old AOL email address. And she took me under her wing. She gave me a chance to get on the phone with her for a few minutes, and I expressed my spirit, my energy, my love for the markets, And I had been in the markets for about 2 years, and I was just going up and down as a trader. And she took me under her wing, and in 3 years later, we became partners, and we built a substantial educational service. We traded, we built a very big trading business and an educational service that spanned the globe. IML is not my first shot at spanning the globe and helping people change their lives. IML is not my first time going at it. And I know people actually think it is, but it's not. I've had a very, very large business. We've spanned many, many, many countries, over 55 countries, and we've helped people. I walked away from the business. I wanted to retire. I let her know in 2012 in January that I just want to relax. We've had a great run, 14 years, 12, 13 years. And we're still very, very close friends. We talk all the time. But I called her up and I basically said, teach me to be successful. Teach me to be like you. To the fact that she was having a seminar that very next month. I went there and she brought me to her home. I met her husband. She lived on this big sprawling estate, and all from the markets. Now, in my field prior, or what I was doing at the time, I was a contractor. I was building large high-rises in New York City. Very successful. We were building upwards of $35 to $45 million in construction. I didn't need to become a trader. I wanted to become a trader. There's a difference. I was hungry. So much so that I walked away from that business. And I dedicated myself full-time to trading from the word go. All I wanted to do was trade. That's all I wanted to do. Because I understand when you're in another business, I don't care how much money you make. I don't. Because you cannot leave that business if it's a traditional business. If it's an online business like you have today, people can go online, you can live anywhere. But at the time, I felt I was handcuffed. I was handcuffed to New York City. I like to travel, but where are you going to go? So I saw trading as a vehicle that you can build a business anywhere in the globe, and I was able to travel and trade. It was exciting. So I seeked out Linda Rashke, and she became my mentor. And a couple of years later, we became partners. We built a very nice business, educating and helping people over the many, many years, and we built very good names for ourselves. And that's one thing. You want to find somebody who you respect, who you want to emulate. All right? That's what you want to do. You want to emulate success. Find somebody who's doing something or going in the direction you're going. You want to go in and just hook your hooks to their coattails and take a ride. Now, if a person is going from business to business to business, if they're jumping here, jumping there, they're all over the place, you have to question that. All right? I'm not a person that likes to follow somebody who's like a spray gun and put dots all over the place. I look for something substantial, and I want to build the foundation. And I want to build that foundation if it takes time. IML, iMarkets Live, right now, yes, every company has their early bumps. We're only 8 months old or so, but I'm looking at this as building our foundation to grow an extremely, extremely strong, profitable business for everybody and build strong roots. So right now we're in building stages, and that's for every company that ever starts, believe it or not. Not everybody, everybody just starts and all of a sudden they're the wonderment of the world. Every company, Facebook, every company starts and they build the foundation and they grow and grow. So I see that happening with us. I'm happy in the direction it's going. I'm not happy in some directions, but it all gets smoothed out, and I'm on top of every single thing. I reach out to people who I can ask for advice, believe it or not. I don't consider myself the end all. I never did. I always ask for advice from people who are much smarter than me and that can offer it. So in that respect, let's go to the next little slide here. This is a little bit of a warm-up before we actually go into the main webinar. So Muhammad Ali was the greatest example of successful mindset. To me, he was the greatest example. He had some of the most phenomenal statements. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, I can achieve it. This is a guy, he was a 20-something-year-old boxer out of the streets, and he had this wisdom that came out of him. And he went through his struggles in his career. They banned him from boxing. He came back. He had He had to fight and fight to become the champion, the greatest of all time. But he spoke it. If you recall, and you look at any of the old videos on YouTube and search out Muhammad Ali, he always spoke it into existence. You speak your success into existence. It has to go first into your mind. Then it comes into your mouth. It goes to your conscience, your subconscious, and then through your mouth. Once you're believing something without a shadow of a doubt. See, you cannot attract something unless you believe it without a shadow of a doubt. It's one thing if you're saying it through your mouth and it's not in your heart, you're not going to have it. If you believe it in your heart and your body radiates it and it comes out of your mouth, you're going to get it. So let me give you an example. We have both men and women here, I could see. When you've met your spouse, when you met somebody who you connect with, okay, your spouse, your girlfriend, your whoever it is, a best friend, somebody who you like, you don't even have to speak. You just feel that energy. You know, the greatest example is a dog. They say dogs know when you're scared. Well, how would a dog know you're scared? They feel that energy, that vibration, you see. You could look at the dog and say, I'm not afraid of you, but the dog knows you are because your energy is portraying weakness where you're telling the dog, I'm not weak. If a dog can read your energy and sense that something's wrong, wouldn't you believe anybody else could? And your own body would? Your own subconscious knows that you're not telling the truth? So you have to go into that mode being like a Muhammad Ali. He felt he was the greatest of all time. He spoke it into existence. He said, you lose nothing when fighting for a cause. In my mind, losers are those who don't have a cause they care about. To be a great champion, you must believe you are the best. If you're not, pretend you are. What did they say? What is it? Zig Ziglar? Speak it into existence, fake it till you make it? Huh? As long as you believe it, you're going to achieve it. It's true. Now, one of the things he said was champions aren't made in the gym. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. A desire, a dream, a vision. Think about that. A desire, a dream, and a vision. They have to have that last minute stamina. They have to be a little bit faster. They have to have the skill and the will. But most important, he said, but the will must be stronger than the skill. See, it's not about the skill. It's what's in your heart, that energy that you're putting out, that want, that desire. When you want something bad enough, it will happen. It will happen. You take me back to the 1980s. Where I had maybe didn't do so good in business and lost my job and wasn't living in a home or an apartment. I don't have to tell you where I was. You get the point. All right? But I never believed I was that way. So I don't care who you are, where you are, how big you are, how small you are. You could be as big and financially strong as you choose to. You just got to start, and it has to go into your ears. I have conversations day after day after day, and it's so amazing that some people will focus on the negative and some people will focus on the positive. I had a wonderful conversation today with somebody. Focus solely on the positive. That just blew me away. I love that. That's attractive. You cannot attract people if you focus on the negative. What is going on in the future, not is what's going on today or yesterday. All right? When you sit at your desk, mentally, you have to be the Muhammad Ali of trading. Back when I first started trading, I used to walk around saying, I'm the Muhammad Ali of trading. I'm the best. I'm the greatest of all time. Nobody can beat me. I'm the double greatest. Just like Muhammad Ali used to say, I'm the double greatest. I'm bad. All right? Successful people consume themselves with improving their craft. Countless hours of charting. Countless hours of learning how to market. I don't care if you're a network marketer or trader. You have to put those hours in. You don't look at your watch. Right? When I tell somebody I've worked around the clock, they say, you're crazy. That's not healthy. No, what's not healthy is having to work until you're 90 years old and struggling. When you have a dream and you're building something that's yours, You do not look at your watch, and you do the job until it's done. You do not stop. You do the job until it's done. You work and you put the hours in until you're a success, and do not stop. Do not ever give up. Okay? You have to have successful people have a plan of action. They're relentless. You have to be a pit bull, be a lion. You know, I had a dog, and I'm going to show it to you in my next. We have two presentations which we combined together. In the next set of slides, I'm going to show you one of my dogs that he passed away. He was bigger than a pit bull. I'll show you, but you have to be relentless. Like that pit bull locks his jaws on something and will not let go. When I found out, when I figured iMarkets Live, when it came to me, because I was reaching out to the universe saying, please, give me something. Give me an idea. And I was reaching out. I was wanting to do something else, combining my worlds, my life, my prior businesses. And when it struck a light bulb, wow. Combining the two industries. Powerful. I have not stopped. It is a nonstop. It's just nonstop. Until we have changed the lives of 1,000 people, and we got 1,000 millionaires out there, and it will happen. You could be one of them. You will stick with this, you will become a millionaire. You will, if you stick with it. You learn how to trade. You learn how to build your business. You learn how to build residual income. It will happen. And for those that don't believe it, then it's not going to happen, and I can't help you. But so what if you only hit a couple of $100,000 a year? You know what? Better than not making it. Okay? You have to be willing to do things today that others won't do in order to have tomorrow what others cannot. You have to do today what others won't do. Let's take in New York. We have these little bodegas. We have these little delis. And you walk in there, and there's an Indian family. They're from somewhere out in India. And you got the whole family working. Okay? And they're working 20 hours a day, and they have the whole family in there, and they're sleeping in the basement because it's a fact. We know some of them. I've known some growing up. But these are the same ones. In 10 years, that own multi-million-dollar homes because they were willing to do what others wouldn't. I would not sleep in the back of a store on an ugly mat. I would not stick my whole family and sleep in a store, and that's where my whole life is in my business. I would not do that. But then again, at the time, I was not going to have what they had. They saved every penny and they've built. In New York, we have back in the 70s, the buildings burnt. There was a whole thing burning buildings in New York City because New York City went into this economic depression. And there was a culture, the Albanians, and they're known today for their real estate savvy. And back in the 70s, when everybody left the Bronx, when they had all these fires, I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands of buildings. The landlords couldn't get the rent. People would not pay them. The city was bankrupt. So they burnt the buildings. They put fire on the roof, and everything burnt. So while everybody, all the rich, the well-to-do people, the smart people moved north, all the Albanians had moved into the Bronx, into the burnt-out buildings, into these little tenements. But they were willing to do what others wouldn't, so they could have later. But I have friends now that own apartment buildings, many of them. They own 5 and 6 and 7,000 unit complexes. Imagine earning rent of $1,000, $2,000 a month on 7,000 people per month, because they were willing to do 30 years ago, 40 years ago, what others would not. And now their children and their children's children would get that residual income for life. Now, Les Brown said, if you want anything worthwhile in life, you got to be hungry. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So let's get started in our webinar. I just wanted to get warmed up a little bit and get your mind thinking of where my mind is at, where my direction is going. All right? Laws of attraction. Prior to The Secret, prior to that, I had done seminars, doing a seminar in Chicago, and after I finished, somebody came up to me and said, wow, there's a book a movie that just came out called The Secret, and it's similar to what you're doing. And this actually, when I did this original seminar right here, this was back around that time frame when The Secret was just coming out and getting a lot of fanfare, but it stands the test of time. Now, I wish I was smart as that lady and I would have put a movie out. That would have been great, but I'm not that smart, obviously. But I've been working with laws of attraction and speaking it because back in the 90s and 80s, I've always read the right books. In the 90s, I was part of, as I said, a network marketing company, and I did my traveling, and they taught. Speak it into existence. Okay? And focus on the positive. And that's why we built IML, because you're combining both worlds. It wasn't that I woke up one day and thought, wow, network marketing. Now, granted, I never owned a network marketing company, but I was in it back in that time, and I enjoyed it. I had a very, very positive experience. And I don't claim to be a network marketer. I'm a trader, but I do understand the power of both industries. And I originally named this, You Are a Gladiator. And I named it, it came after The Critic. Because I looked at The Critic, and I used to tailor this to traders, which it could be tailored to traders and network marketers. All right, let's read this. And tell me if you don't feel like this, if you're actively building your business. Now, I don't care if you're building IML or building your store or building your accounting business or building your trading business. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's, it's what you are doing right now currently that you have that emotional attachment to, that you're putting that effort every day, that you wake up with such an excitement that it's affecting you emotionally every single day. Do you wake up? Do you have that emotional attachment to whatever you're doing for success? Because if you don't have it, you're not going to have it. IML will be a world-class business. I promise you. It will not fail. We will not go down. We will go straight up. Okay? This has been since day one. It will be. And when we're a $100 million company, I'm still going to have that same mindset that we're going to be a $1 billion company. Whether we are or not, that's irrelevant. It's your attitude, your mindset. You see? No matter what you do, if you're an accounting company, you can't walk around thinking you're going to fail. You have to think about where you're going to go, mapping out that road to success. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to look forward. Blinders on you like a horse that has blinders on them, they can't see what's behind them. In New York City, we have horses walking up and down the streets. And I know the mayor wants to get them off of the streets, but when they walk, they have these blinders on them. They can't see all the cars around them. All they see is the car in front of them. They don't look on the side of them. They don't look behind them. Because if they did, they would jump up, spook, and knock everybody, and they would be running like crazy. So they have these blinders which keep them calm. It's not the critic who counts. Now think about this. This is you. This is you. Get that emotional attachment to whatever you're doing now and think about this. This is you on your road to success. If you're not doing anything that has to do with success and working and putting effort in on a day-to-day basis, this means nothing to you. But if you're doing something and you're doing more than the next person and you can't go to sleep at night because you're truly excited, when you wake up in the morning, you can't wait to get up and you have that emotional attachment, then you should get some emotion about you when you listen and you read this and you understand what Theodore Roosevelt was saying. Don't be like the other guy. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. How many times I got people calling me up telling me, oh, you could have done this better. You could have built the compensation plan better. You could have done that trade. You could have done this. You could have done that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Where were you when I started? That's how you have to look at it. Where were you when? Okay? You have to be that leader. And for whatever you're doing, this has to hit you hard. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause. Okay? That's you. You are the trader. You are the network marketer. You're putting that time in. You put the time in, you're not seeing any results. You put the time in, you're not seeing any results. But you have a vision. It will happen. You put the time in, you make mistakes. People say no to you. People laugh at you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You see? Every business has that same common thread, especially in networking, especially in trading. You think it's not hard when I take a trade and I lose and I'm like, you have to have that great enthusiasm. In the end, the triumph. Okay, I originally wrote this for traders when we had our webinars. This was written well before IML was even thought about. Who spends himself for a worthy cause. Who at the end knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place should never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. It's so easy to talk about a soccer or football game after it's over. Oh, he should have done that. Oh, he could have done this. Where were you? You're not on the field. Go get your own ball and go get your own net and get your own team. It's so easy to be the Monday morning quarterback. Get in the fight. Get in the game. Don't ever, ever, ever let anybody step in your way or tell you you can't do something. You be a gladiator. You get out there and you take those punches and you go to war every day for success. You do whatever it takes. Let's continue. Every morning I start my day. Now, I don't still do this verbally. It comes through my mind consistently. But if you start thinking every single day and you wake up every morning and you say good things to you. Hello, boss. I'm going to give myself a raise today. I'm creating wealth today. I'm a winner. I'm a success. I'll do whatever it takes to succeed. I'll pay the full price of success. I don't want any shortcuts. Shortcuts are for losers. I want to go the full 15 rounds in my fight. There are no shortcuts to success. I will not and I cannot be denied because I'm a winner. I'm hungry to win. I'm on a pit bull eating a bone. I won't give up for any reason. I'm a gladiator. I'm ready to fight. I'll fight the fight. Pay any price. Do whatever it takes. Because I'm a winner and I will not be denied. That's it, period. A lot of this came from a gentleman. His name was Bill Britt. He was a very, very influential leader in the network marketing industry for a company for many, many years. And when I had traveled to different countries when they were opening up, I would go to those countries and actually would be in the same time he was there for when they were opening the countries. And I would spend time with him. The most amazing man I've ever met. And I've learned a lot from his tapes and audios and videos. Not videos. Back in the day, it was a lot of audios. But I spent time with him. And I learned how to be a man, how to be a success, and do the right thing and go in the right direction. See, money doesn't equate you to success. It's also the mindset. You see, if you think yourself as a $100,000 person, trust me, you're not making $100,000. You'll make 50. You see. You're never going to reach the top. So think of yourself as a millionaire, and if you hit halfway, God bless you. You've done great. Okay? Now, that's not a pit bull. I was living in South Florida. I was coming home. And I had a big bone for my dog, King. And I'm going to show you King's picture in a minute. And this little dog started barking. Yap, 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 yap. And I turn around. And I have this big bone in my hand, and the little dog is looking, barking. So I took the bone, I put it down, and the little dog sat in front of that bone, just looking and smiling. And I took a picture. And that picture, I'll never forget it. It was in 2007. I was living in West Palm Beach, Florida. And that was right when I had just moved down there. And I put that bone, and he just looking at that bone, and he didn't know what to do with it. But he knew it was a dog bone. So he, being 15 pounds, looked at that bone like, I'm a 500-pound dog, and I'll eat that bone up right now. And that was just one of the best pictures I've ever taken. There was a gentleman, his name was William, Villiam. Back in, let's see, this was in the 1990s. I believe it was maybe the mid-90s, sometime around that era, 90, oh gosh, when was it? 90? Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, Around 2003, 2000, not 90s, 2003, 2004. Um, we were doing a seminar at the Marriott Marquis in New York City. We were part of this whole convention, and my partner Linda and I were doing some seminars. And prior to that, a couple of weeks before, this gentleman emails me. He says, "Chris, I need your help." And I said, "Great." He says, I want to spend time talking to you." And I said, "Well, if you're real serious," and we had thousands of members, so I was getting a lot of emails. I said to him, "Look, if you're serious, just come to the trade station booth. I'll meet you in New York." He told me where it was. I said, "I'll meet you in New York at the trade station booth on a Saturday in the morning." So I forgot about this guy. So I'm at the trade station booth in New York City. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. And here comes this big, giant, husky guy with a suit and tie and three of his friends. And they're all walking towards me, screaming my name. "Grease! Grease Terry!" Who is this? I was like, "Yes, it's me." He goes, "William, yes?" And I thought, "Yes, William. Who are you?" And I realized who he was. He explained to me that he got on a plane in Bratislava, Slovakia, flew to New York to have a meeting with me. His hunger was at a very, very high level. I come to find out he's also one of my members. He came to New York to sit with us. So I invited him into our seminar that we had that weekend. And his hunger was so big, it didn't care how many hours it took to get there. Back in the 90s, when I had met Linda Rashkin, she said she was doing a seminar. It was thousands and thousands of dollars. It was an all-weekend event. I could not figure a way to do it. I went anyway. So to me, I don't really care what obstacles you have in your way. If you're hungry, you're going to figure a way to get there. You're going to make it happen. Okay? William ended up becoming a good trader. He had a couple of his guys with him, and it was 2 years ago. Oh gosh, it was 2 years ago. I was in Dallas, and he was sitting in the one of his guys that was with him was sitting in the front row, and he attended the seminar in Dallas that I did. So, where's your hunger level? Are you sitting in front of your computer, sitting back and say, bring me people, make me rich? Or are you saying just make me? No, go out and get it. Go invest your time. Like each one of you are here tonight. I'm so excited because I know in your country, if you're in Australia, if you're in UK, or if you're in another country, Norway, I know we got people in different countries. Gosh, it's the middle of the night. I know if you're here in the US, it may be middle of the lunchtime for you if you're in the West Coast, or 5 o'clock on the East Coast here. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out. You guys are showing you're hungry. You guys are showing that you want something else, and I want to give you my best. I'm not holding back. And you want to start programming yourself in terms of putting out positive. You want to start putting out those positive thoughts, those positive words. And you put those positive words out. So let's just say, I am a winner. Okay? Simple. You just said it. It went into your ears, into your conscience, and it will get registered into your subconscious and eventually come right back out of your mouth. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say it enough, you believe it enough, it will happen to you just automatically. You will start feeling better, looking better, acting better, saying the right things. But if you're walking around saying, "Wow, it's not going to work. I don't really feel this," or "Nah," and you participate with that negative, you're right. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to happen for you. And you're going to be where you are in a year. Let's face it. If you are building a job or a business that doesn't turn you or some kind of a residual income or something that you can earn substantial amounts of wealth. You see, trading, you could work anywhere you want and you can earn substantial amounts of wealth, right? You can go from a shoestring budget and build wealth with it. But also, if you stop working and you don't trade, your income does stop. But being a trader, your income is much, much higher than the average guy. I could tell you that. A good trader, their average income is a lot higher than the average worker. Now, if you're not earning a residual and you're working and you stop working, and when you stop working and your income stops, you truly never can stop working. So looking at the network marketing side of iMarkets Live or whatever you're building out there, when you're building a residual, when you're building your team, you're putting out that positive. You're talking about, I compound my hours. I have a team. I have this. You're speaking it into existence. You're putting out that energy of what you want. So with your words, you're predicting things that are going to happen in the future. We're talking about the future into existence. When you're programming yourself, and you may not understand this, when you're saying the right thing and you're putting out your goals and your desires, you're programming your subconscious. You're basically speaking your future into existence. We will become what we say we are. Okay? You know, you hear about this, you read it in books, but this is how it works. We have to start working on the inside before the outside will change. As I said earlier, you have people that run their mouth but have nothing in their heart. And it's easy to see through that. If a dog can see that you're saying, I'm not scared of you, but you're shivering inside and the dog knows it, well, humans know that, and your own subconscious knows that. Your own subconscious knows if you're lying. Your conscience knows if you're lying to yourself. You see, you can't tell me one thing and feel another. You're only cheating yourself. You can't tell yourself something that you don't actually believe in. You can't. You have to be all in or not. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be baseball. It could be anything. This is not an IML seminar. This is helping you, give you some direction in what has helped me, and I've helped people over the years. I did this originally right here was 2007. That's 7 years ago. This is well before what we're doing here today, okay? So, and that's in the middle of my trading world. Okay, programming. Our conscious mind storing the information into our subconscious mind. Like a computer, right? You type it on your screen, and then you save it. And it gets saved into the computer. Your mind is like a computer. It stores that information in your subconscious, and your subconscious will act according to the way it was programmed, to the smallest details without question. To the smallest details. You see people do the same thing over and over and over again, getting the same results, right? We talk about it being insanity. Well, what about the successful people? You guys, have you ever thought about that? People say, well, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results, that's a definition of insanity. But you know what? If you're successful at doing what you're doing over and over again, you keep doing it. That's not insanity. That's creating wealth. It depends what you're doing. It depends if your system is wrong or right. If what you're doing is wrong or right. If you're doing something, you're butting your head against the wall, and it's not working, you're doing it year after year. Well, you know, after a couple of years, you have to say to yourself, this is insanity. But don't say doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results is insanity. No, because if you're doing the same thing over and over again, like a system, right? You build your system. I see we have a couple of people on here that I've spoken to that build their systems. They're building their marketing systems. Well, if you're doing something in your marketing system and it's working over and over and over again, that's not insanity, that's success. So have you programmed your mind for success or for failure? You have to understand your mind. Although we look at all these computers, I got this phone, I had the iPhone and it broke. And I went to some store, Best Buy, and they convinced me I got to get the Samsung Note 3. Who cares, right? It's some big, stupid phone. It really is. It's bulky. I'm going to give it back. But they got the sale. Hooray, hooray. But it just doesn't work for me. But you take those. You take your computers. You take all these supercomputers, these virtual private servers. You take all of them. And your mind is 100,000 times more powerful than them. You could stack, I'm looking out my window, New York City. I'm looking at the Freedom Tower. You can stack computers from the basement to the roof, 100-something floors, pack it full of computers, and your mind is stronger than any computer ever designed. Think about how powerful that little couple of pounds is in your brain. Your brain, that couple of pounds. Think about that. How powerful your mind is. And we only use a small percentage of it, right? We're not even using our full capacity. Our self-image. You see, somebody says, well, you have to have an attitude. Well, a good attitude, bad attitude. You have to have a self-image. Well, what kind? You have to have a high self-image, you can have a high or a low self-image. And your self-image and self-worth is a direct correlation to your net worth. You see, I didn't build this for a network marketing seminar. At the time, I built this for traders. You're just getting the benefit, if you're on the network marketing side, to understand it's the same thinking. You see, your self-image and your self-worth is in direct correlation to your net worth. If you think you're going to make it, I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe it'll happen. I'm not sure if anybody's going to like this, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? You're right. It's never going to happen. But if you look at this and you say, this business is going to be in 100 countries, I'm going to create so much wealth, I'm going to do so much, blah, blah, blah. You go on and you believe it. If you feel you're $1 million guy or girl, if you feel you're up there in terms of wealth, and you have a high self-image, you dress nice, you look nice, you feel good, you're clean-shaven, you're a good hygiene, you speak well, you don't promote negative, you speak positive, you uplift others and uplift yourself, and you look at yourself how you are at a higher level, your net worth is going to rise, believe it or not. Now, you can't be a fool and blow your money on gambling or just toss it away and do things like these kids in New York City. They go to the clubs and they throw their money away. That's not being wise. A fool and his money will soon part, but you want to be wise about every aspect. So another thing, you're never going to rise above the self-image you have of yourself. So think big. Think big. Think of yourself as a $250,000 a month person. Think big. All right? If you're making more than that now, then think of yourself as a $500,000 a month. But whatever the fact is, if you're earning so much, think of yourself as 20, 30 times bigger. Doesn't matter the number. You're not judged. Nobody judges anybody. You have to have an image of yourself that you're a warrior, a powerful gladiator. I am the most calmest person. I'm the friendliest person that I will give. I really give. But when somebody comes at me hard, I come right back at them equally or harder. That's how you have to be. You have to feel that you're a gladiator of success and let nobody ever steal your dream or step on you or try to hurt you. You go forward and you try to uplift others and have that high self-image and try to help others bring their self-images higher. What did Muhammad Ali say? I'm the king of the world. I'm the greatest. I'm the double greatest. I'm Muhammad Ali. Dress for success. I'm gonna talk about this I don't even need to get into it because it's too long of a talk. The power of the spoken word. We can change our self-image from our words. We have seeds of greatness inside us. Words are seeds that have creative power. Think about it. When you're speaking, you're planting seeds whenever you're speaking. If you listen to the Jim Rohns of the world, if you listen to Earl Shobe, who was Jim Rohn's mentor, okay? When you listen to a guy like that who did in 1965, did a talk on laws of attraction. Earl Shobe, Jim Rohn's mentor, did a seminar in 1965. I was born in 1965, and he did it at the Essex House. And he said, you got to plant the right seeds. You cannot go to a tomato patch and plant watermelons and expect tomatoes. It's just not going to happen. You have to plant the exact seeds that you want. If you want a Cadillac, if you ask for a Cadillac, you're going to get presented with a Cadillac. Now, the Cadillac may be a broken down Cadillac with no wheels, it's rusted, no engine, no windows, and the seats are torn up and it smells. Or do you want a 2015 S Cadillac? I don't even know the names of them. Bright red, kind of wheels, special sound system. Smell the leather interior. You see, you have to smell it. Smell that leather interior of that Cadillac. You have to be so specific, down to the threads of what you want with that Cadillac. And then you have a seed that you can plant and you can achieve. But you can't just throw seeds around. I want this, I want that. I'm going to be in this business today. I'll be in that business tomorrow. I'm going to be successful here, successful there. Oh my God. Oh my God. People that are planting their seeds, earning multiple streams of income. Garbage. Garbage. You focus on something that will help you become successful. Be specific in what you're doing and build that with a passion. Plant those right seeds. You cannot build 15 different businesses, an accounting business, a construction business, a marketing company, this, unless you have a proper team that in each one of them, obviously. All right? You have to focus and plant the right seeds. You can't, as I said, walk into a tomato field and plant watermelons and expect Roma tomatoes to pop up. And you have to plant them at the right time. There's a time where you can plant, and there's a time for harvest. Right now with IML, you have to, I'm in the planting stage. You're in the planting stages. If you build an IML, you're in the planting stages, not the harvesting stages. You're in the planting stages. You're learning how to trade. You're learning how to build your network. You're learning how to do such and such. Our marketing systems, we're learning. All right? We're building. Last night, I did 14 videos to go into our marketing system. We have a phenomenal, when I tell you phenomenal, insane marketing system, a hands-off system, it's going to blow your mind. But I've been planting seeds, planting and working and planting. I have 2 programmers, planting and working. I have designers, planting and working. I have my team, our leadership, people I'm dealing with, the affiliates, some of the leaders. We're planting. Why? For future growth, for future harvest for each and every one of you. You see, don't think we haven't forgot. Don't think we're sleeping. Chris doesn't sleep. Chris has one thing in mind, the affiliate's success. Whether you're building it now or later, we're building it for you right now. We have seeds of greatness inside of us. Words are seeds that have creative power. Our words have the ability to produce results from whatever we say. So you speak negative, you're going to get it back. You plant seeds of negative, you tell somebody something bad and tell somebody else something bad, and before you know it, that bad comes back to you from other people. You see, I get people who come back to me and say that somebody else said something, and then I go to that original person because I cut it and nip it in the bud. All right, I nip it in the bud. And they say, well, I didn't say that, or I didn't say this. This is my whole career. I always, since I was born. You know, people like to spread negative or spread positive, but you cut it in the bud. You know where it's coming from. And you don't spread negative. You keep things positive. Our words program our subconscious, as I said, and I keep saying it. Keep programming yourself for success. It'll program your conscience, program your subconscious. Your subconscious doesn't know right from wrong. It just knows what you've told it, what you've programmed it. See, if you wrote a virus for a computer, if you wrote a computer virus and you put it on another computer, it's going to infect that computer in a negative way. And there's no way to stop it. And then if you send an email to other people, before you know it, your one virus has affected many. Okay? You don't want to be a virus spreader. You want to protect your subconscious, protect your conscience. Our subconscious will do the work according to how we program it. It's a supercomputer, as I said. It's more powerful than any computer you could design or even fill up that Freedom Tower with. We can either create the successes or fortunes, create debts or disasters with our words. So speak the right way. Words of destruction. Do you know people's words are the most powerful weapon on this earth? And I'm talking about themselves, not hurting others, but they can hurt themselves, which hurts others. Wars have started. Wars have started and ended on the power of the spoken word. Look what's going on right now. You got Obama and you got Putin yapping at each other, threatening each other in all sorts of economic ways. That's not positive. Obviously, something's wrong out there. Okay? Wars have started. You see what's going on? There was the big protest in Ukraine. Horrible. Made the markets go so bananas. You can see it. So a country, an issue there is affecting the global climate. Forex, futures, markets, attitude. All the news is surrounded by it. Now it's about the airplane that disappeared. Words are more powerful than a sword. You ever say something you regret saying to somebody, that when you have a conversation or an argument and you pull up something that you know that's going to hurt them, that sword strikes, you can never take it back. So be careful what you say. Friendships can be built or destroyed on power of the spoken word. I'm a firm believer of building friendships, of embracing people, not backing off, not being weak. If you have to stand your ground and say something, do it. But create the friendship. Create that bond. Try to build. Don't try to destroy. Now, in terms of distractions, now in terms for trading, would we rather fight with our neighbor because their music is loud, or the spouse is asking us a simple question while we're trading, or maybe you're doing a marketing call? They're distractions. Why fight? You just take it, you understand it, and you have to work around it. These are excuses for your success. I have it too. Everybody has it. We all have distractions. We all have it. Is it okay to allow our brains to become negatively programmed? Meaning our own negative programming, talking about debts, relationships, careers, friends, colleagues. They tell you their problems. I have somebody that messaged me the other day, and then they said at the end, I'm sorry for dropping all my negative on you. And I responded, no problem. I didn't even read it. But people think it's okay that they could just call you up and dump stuff on you. And when that happens, you just kind of back off. I didn't read it because it was a text message, but if somebody actually called me on the phone, I would stop it. You want to be a gladiator and fight the right fight, and worry about the real distractions and not make excuses why you've ever failed in life. Just keep going forward and look for ways to achieve. Okay. I'm addressing some of the negative programming because it's a reality. All right, not because I'm promoting negative, because I want to address the reality. So from a young age, and I'll get into the positive. So we have to look at some of the negatives of what's happening, and then we'll look at the positive. From the young age, the vast majority of us were programmed with a poor self-image, either by our parents, our teachers, or just a product from our environment. All right, I grew up in a fairly poor neighborhood. All right, I didn't grow up with a car. I didn't grow up with good clothes. I didn't even have the right shoes. All right, we lived in a house when you turn the lights on, the roaches scattered around the ceilings. My mother was on welfare. My father was not around. I don't make excuses. I knew one thing for sure. That was not my life in the future. Whatever it was, when I hit that age where I was able to do something, I did it. You're programmed, and most people, when they get programmed in such a way, that carries them their whole life. Their whole life, it carries them. What you're programmed as a child, it carries your whole life. My dog, Ronnie, who some ding-dong said I shouldn't put on my Facebook because I'm showing my personal stuff. I flip my chin at them, if you understand what I'm saying. I adopted her a year old from some young girl, but she used to fight with her boyfriend to a level where they used to smash and bash and do bad things. And whenever when I go in the kitchen and she hears the pots, she flips out and she hides. She has fear. Obviously, somebody hurt her. Obviously, there was something that affected her. 2 years ago, she still, in her mind, relates something, that noise, that it relates to her. Just like you, that little hot button. If somebody was to say something or act in a certain way, it takes you back to many years ago of failures, of people saying no, of your parents saying no. How many times have we found ourselves saying, or somebody telling you, oh, you're never going to be able to do that. Well, I don't have what it takes. I never win. I can't seem to make money. You know, I had a conversation with somebody, and yes, the trading with IML, it's obvious, right? We've been up and down. We've had go through our traders, and we all have our ups and downs. But I had somebody say to me, you're not focused on that. I'm focused on success. Yes, you know, we're in some trade right now, I guess the Forex, but you have to look at it as looking forward. You don't sit and you look at your last failure. You learn from it. You learn from everything you're doing, and you try to look at around you and what your distractions are. You see, you look around you and look at your distractions. You're going to have your wealth. You're going to have your losses. It's going to happen. Okay? you're going to happen. You do not sit and talk negative about yourself. That's the worst thing to do. I don't sit and talk negative about myself, because what good does it do if you talk negative about yourself? I can't seem to do this. Oh, I don't know anybody that wants to make money. I've heard them all. I don't know anybody. You're 45 years old. You're living in London, or you're living in New York City, or you're living in California. You don't know anybody. Maybe step outside your house. I don't know. You know, some of the excuses you hear. All right. And this is not IML, it's every business. I'm just giving you theory right now, just some general talk. All right. All right. Start looking at some positive. That's my dog King, the big blue one. And the little dog was a little miniature pincher. And I had him at this place. We used to board them like this dog hotel. And it was big. They had a big field. And the owner took a picture of them staring each other down. Now here's a 130-pound dog staring down a 13-pound dog. So I looked at it and I said, wow, it's not what counts is necessarily the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. I don't care how strong you are financially. I really don't. What I care about is how strong you will be financially. How big you will be in the future. I don't care where you are right now. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you've had legal issues. I don't care if you have legal issues. I don't care if you have relationship issues. I don't care if you're short. I don't care if you're tall, fat, skinny, can't sign your name, can speak. I don't care. All I care about is, do you have a desire and you have a will to win and a will to succeed? That's what I care about. Do you have that will to succeed? That's all I care about. That's all you should care about. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. How strong is your fight? That little miniature pincher, 13 pounds, looked at my Cane Corso. He's a massive, massive dog at the time. 130, 140 pounds. He looked at him like, I will rip you apart. No dogs were hurt. No animals were hurt in the taking of this picture. You got to continuously, you're going to fight the fight because you're going to continuously be faced with negative. You're always going to be in a battle with negative forces. I have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Everybody does. You wake up, you have to wake up. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You step your foot. Somebody calls you. It just starts your day the wrong way. Or at night, you're ready to go to sleep and you have a conversation that you didn't want to have and you can't sleep. Where there's always good, there's always evil. There's always going to be that battle between good and evil, bad and good. There's always going to be that battle. You're never going to, the good angel, the bad angel. There's always going to be those negative forces, black and white, up and down, yin and yang. There's always going to be that. You have to be on the right side of it and never cross into that bad side. Never cross into the negative side. It's our job to put our hands up in the face of the negative, to fight back and not allow it to hurt you anymore. You got to fight like a gladiator. Protect your subconscious. Protect your conscience. Your subconscious will go to work for you. If you do what you ask, it'll do what you ask. It will go to work for you and produce the results you asked of it. Before you can heal yourself from all the trauma and all the trauma the brain has endured over the past 20, 30, 40 years, you got to put a stop. You got to put a stop to the negative. You have to put a lid on it. Turn the TV off. Hang up when somebody's negative. Delete those negative emails. Delete those negative messages. Don't even listen. Shut it all down. You don't. You need to work on yourself and heal all the damage that was done from all these years of all the people that you dealt with that said you couldn't do it or you can't do it. You really have to. If you take a pool, let's not even take a pool. Let's take a gallon of water. Well, I don't know what you call it in the UK. Let's just call it a gallon. Okay, everybody knows what a gallon is. Take a gallon of water. Okay, remove all the water, and then put a shot of some black coffee in there. A shot of black coffee. All right, and you take that shot of black coffee which is the negative you've endured in your brain. And every day you put a shot of positive, a shot of positive, a shot of positive. Before you know it, the black coffee will start to become brown coffee, beige coffee, tinted water, clear water. And if you have it up to 2 gallons and 3 gallons, you will never know that coffee was in there. You couldn't taste it, you couldn't smell it, you couldn't see it, but the negative, that black coffee is still inside. All right? Just like all that negative that you have, and you override it with positive. You can't erase what's inside you. You see, you can't erase those negatives. You can overwhelm it with positive, and it would overwhelm the negative. By doing that, you'll start speaking different, looking different, acting different, thinking different, helping other people, uplifting other people, not knocking them down. You got to change the game. You have to learn to overcome, to become better, that which you've ever been. You got to be a constant overcomer. Every day you want to become better than you were the prior day. The last day on earth, want it to be the best day on earth. You want to have that constant overcoming to become. Write that down. We have to program our minds to think different no matter when we are asleep, whether we're at work, at play, during good times or bad times. You have to program yourself the right way. All positive in. You have to. To have positive out, to have a positive outcome, you have to not erase the negative, but overwhelm it with positive. Have the confidence to overcome whatever stresses, failures, negative situations that naturally occur. If I take a trade and I lose, I can't sit and stress out. I just go to the next one. If I speak to somebody about IML and they're not interested, big deal. I go to the next one. If I want to go do anything and it doesn't work out, I'll just continue to do. I don't sit and I don't dwell on it. I consistently try to improve myself to grow better, to have better, to teach others to do the same. And that's basically the nature of changing your game. You want to stop saying negative things about yourself or others and start giving yourself and others compliments. Understand, folks, this was not written for network marketing. This was not written for some positive seminar. This was written for traders. I wrote this for traders, my own membership, and then I did it for an event. But this was not written for traders. This is written for traders, but really it's about anybody in any vehicle or any business or anything in life. So stop giving yourself negative things. Stop saying negative things about yourself and others. Start giving yourself and others compliments. Stop listening to negative thoughts. Start reading positive thinking books or tapes. Stop entering into a negative mindset and start entering into a positive mindset. Allowing seeds to grow into trees. Start planting positive trees. Stop allowing those negative seeds to grow. Stop surrounding yourself with negative people and start associating yourself with successful people. Does it sound familiar? It applies to both sides of IML if you really think about it. It's not enough to stop the negative talk, thinking, or stopping the outside influences from entering into your brain or destroying you. You have to add those massive amounts of positive. Start speaking about the future in the present tense and describe exactly what you want. Continuously add positive input and cut out that negative talk. This will start changing the way you think and the way your conscience will start thinking here and now. Our brains are like a computer, as I said. Muhammad Ali said, champions are not made in the gyms. And we said this before. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision. Remember we talked about this in the beginning? They have that last minute stamina. They have to be a little faster. They have to have that skill and will, but they must have a will stronger than that skill. Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, said this. You have to have that will to win, that every time you get knocked down, you come back harder, you come back stronger, and you attack with every fiber in your body, and you do not ever let anything keep you down. You are not average. Not one of you are average. Not anyone who's trying to do something good about themselves and for others are not average. You're made for greatness. Every time you have a breath in your body, that means you're given another chance at life. Seriously. If you're able to breathe, you have the time, you could start right now to do something better, to do something immediately, change it into a whole nother course. You're creative and talented. So let anything, do not let anything step in your way from letting your dreams become a reality. At all. You have to see the invisible, combining laws of attraction, the laws of action and time, the laws of compensation. Think about that. You reap what you sow. You get out what you put in. You put in tomato seeds, you get back tomato seeds. You put in bad, you get back bad. You put in good, you get back good. You have to take laws of attraction, laws of action and time, and laws of compensation. You can't expect to sign up to something and expect tomorrow you're going to be rich. You really can't. You know what? You sign up to something, you do something, you put time in, you allow time. It's I remember in The Secret they talked about the law of time, and the guy thought something big. He had a vision of an elephant, and all of a sudden an elephant was in his living room. No, if you want to do something great, if you want to become a successful trader or a successful network marketer, you have to put out that action, that want, that need, the desire. Like I said, that energy. And you have to put the time and action into it. And then you will get that law of compensation. Nothing happens overnight. If it happens overnight, you don't want it. You have to put the positive, like I said about the positive coffee, we talked about that. And you have to stop putting limits on yourself, lifting any limits, approving limitations, and approving unlimited opportunities. Do you know you have to give yourself permission to succeed? I had dinner with somebody one night. And that person gave me some insight. And when I realized what they were saying, I realized I was not giving myself permission to succeed or to do something that would help me succeed. I had dinner, and that person gave me insight. And when I realized that person helped me give me permission to do what I wanted to do anyway. It was like I was waiting for permission. Nobody's infallible against that. Donald Trump, Warren Buffett. You have to give yourself permission to succeed. And you always want to seek counsel from others. They're going to help you and lift you up. If they're not going to do that, then there's no use wasting your time. But lift these limits you have on yourself. If you take a grasshopper or a bug, and take a grasshopper and you put it in a glass container, and you have the container 2 feet high, put a glass ceiling, and that grasshopper jump out of it, but we put the top on it, and the grasshopper goes up and smashes his head a few times, he's going to get a headache. And he's going to realize, I could jump exactly 2 feet without getting a headache, but I could jump 2 feet, no problem. I'll jump 2 feet. That's as good. I'm happy jumping 2 feet. And for the rest of that grasshopper's life, when you lift that glass roof, he will only jump 2 feet, and he's limited. He realized he has limitations. An elephant. You see, this big, multiple-ton elephant in a circus has a little rope attached to it to a little stake in the ground. Because as a baby, it had a chain attached to it. And every time that elephant tried to get away, it hurt its foot or its paw. Does the elephant have a paw or a foot or a hoof? So every time it tried to pull away, it hurt itself. Well, the elephant figured, well, I can go 10 feet. That's it. I'm good. I don't need to go any further. And it goes in circles around and around and creates a little path. Circle around, and that's as far as it can go. And it marks off how far it can go. And do you know, when the elephant gets older, he don't realize he could just simply pull that stake out of the ground and walk away. How about the 4-minute mile? All right? Everybody thought your heart was going to blow up until somebody beat the 4-minute mile. Lift the limitations. When I first had started trading big money, I got approved for big accounts. I was trading. I had a brokerage line at one of the brokerage, and they saw my performance, and they kept giving me larger and larger lines. I was at 30 million, 35 million, and when I started hitting big levels, 10 million, 20, it affected me. And I would talk with the CEO of the company, and he said to me, "It's just another zero, Chris." Because I said to him, "I don't know if I could handle that." He said, "It's just another zero. It'll take time getting used to. Lift the limitations. It's just another zero." And I lifted the limitations, and yes, it was hard in the beginning, but then things changed. It's like anything with IML. It's a new model in a way. Old industries, new model, right? How we approach things, lifting the limitations, growing. Faith is the ability to see what isn't as if it were, the ability to see the invisible. Just because it is invisible doesn't make it impossible. Think about that. I don't have to go too much into that, but have faith of a mustard seed. And I believe it's within the next slides. Well, one of them. There's Jose Bilal, 200 years ago, said if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. 200 years ago, they said that. Do you have dreams? Do you have a hope? And how deep is that conviction for your future success? When was the last time you told 5 people about your goals and dreams? Are you just trying to get them into some business? Hey, I got something that can make you money. Hey, I got something that can make you money, like you're a drug dealer on the corner. No, you're not hustling bags on the corner. You ever interest yourself in other people? Tell them about what your dreams, your goals, where you're going, and how can it benefit them? Make it about them. Make it about you. The positive. It's always you want to attack people. You see these emails I get, these marketing emails. Make this, do that, make this. They don't. It's just blasting and blabbing. Tell somebody about your goals and dreams. Hey, I'm a trader. I've been trading. I'm learning how to trade. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Hey, I have my own marketing business representing a trading company. Blah, blah, blah. Express it. We do education, so on and so forth. Speak about your future goals and dreams as though they were already achieved. Speak about them as though they were already achieved. In your mind, I have that beautiful Cadillac. I have that. This is one person I spoke to the other night, and he's telling me about this Porsche he has. Not the Porsche, a Telsa. Telsa? Talking about this Telsa. Then in his garage, he has the plug for it. And he's talking about this $150,000 car that he's got the design and the interior, and he smells it every day. And I'm thinking he has this thing. And I said, I got to take me for a ride. He goes, well, I don't have it yet. But in his mind, he has it. That's a winner. That's somebody who's planting the right seeds. He's not going to give up. You cannot change the past, but you can change the course of your future. I don't care if you're down to your last dollar or if you're millionaires many times over. Do you have goals and dreams? Do you have goals and dreams? Do you write down your goals and dreams, or you're too busy sending marketing emails and calling people up with negative and blabbing and crying and moaning and groaning? Do you have goals and dreams? Because if you did, that's where your focus would be. That's what my focus is. That's what focus of every successful person that's been out there that wrote about it. Focus on your goals and dreams and where you're going, what it's going to take to get you there. Positive programming. Positive affirmations. Just positive affirmations themselves. Input the thoughts of success. I'm talented. I'm wealthy. Successful. I'm a great trader. I'm a great marketer. Talk to your spouse. Do you have a conversation with your spouse about your future? Do you? Do you speak to your family about your future? Do you get them involved in what you're doing? Do you have kids? Do you have a girlfriend, a wife? Do you have a dog? I talk to my dog. Hey, Ronnie, this is what we're doing tomorrow. Do you make a claim? Stake that claim. Go drive a new car that you can't afford. Go see a new house or a new apartment you can't afford. But you know you can afford if you do the work. They say a man without vision is dead. President Clinton, in his Democratic National Convention speech, when he wanted to become president, said, "A man without vision shall perish." And that stuck with me for 20 years almost. Never forget that. Have vision. Faith, vision. Change is the law of life. And those who look only at the past or present are certain to miss the future. So when you hear me talking about the future, and you don't hear me sitting and blabbing about the past or concerning myself so much about the past, because I understand. I understand what it takes to be a success. I've done it. Chris is fine. Chris has done it. Chris is teaching others. Chris has taught others who are fine, who are doing good. And I want you to do good. I want you to do the same thing. Go in that direction of success. I've always surrounded myself with people who can influence me in a much greater way than I can influence myself, or that negative people can influence me. Look at things in life at the next level. You automatically will add belief that you will make it in trading and in life. This is for traders. You want to shake up and shake out all the old ways of thinking, all your beliefs, and force a change. Faith without action is dead, and you're not dead. If you continue to do what you've done, you will have the same results. I'm talking about negative. If you're not happy with those results, then change is not only critical, but vital. Now, remember what we said? Insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. That's if they're negative results. If they're doing it every single year, if every single year you're making the same amount of money, and you're having the same amount of success, and you're living in that same apartment, that same house, that same car, those same clothes, you have those same relationships with those same friends who are getting you nowhere, that same group, if you're having that same every year, then what? Do you know, let's just say you're 40, and you've only had 40, since you got out of high school, you were 18. You've only had 22 chances every year to become successful. 22 chances. Each year, different chance. Different model every year. You've only tried 22 times. How many more times are you going to do it before you figure it out? I got to make a change. I'm not in life where I want to be. I got to make a change, and I got to make a change now. I cannot be more passionate about what I'm trying to tell you. Each and every year, if you look at your life and you look at your bank account and where you are, and you're either going to, put it like this, guys, girls, if you go to the bank, if you're a guy, if you go to the bank and you hand the teller your check, your paycheck, and you turn away, or she hands you your balance, and you don't even look at it, what's that telling you? You can't ask her on a date, that beautiful little 20-year-old girl, because she realizes she's got more than you do, because you got debts. All right? You don't want to be in that position. You want to change that. I want you to become a success. I know I'm speaking to the masses, and the game is making it. All right? Every day, just change where you are to where you want to go. I cannot be passionate enough about it. This is why I built IML. Now you guys are getting it? It wasn't because I want to build a network marketing business, because I want to build I built it. This is why I'm building it, to see other people succeed, to open up the doors to something new. Your best days are yet to come. This is the first day of the rest of your life. Okay, right? This is a seminar I did. Today we plant seeds of hope for future success. Now at the time, I said, what does this mental stuff have to do with the stock market and my future? Has everything. All right? Now, this was obviously done for traders, not for network marketers, but you can see what the point was that it doesn't matter what the technicals are. It's what you think in your heart and your mind. That's the important. I kept this in here because I wanted you guys to see, really, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's stuff that stands the test of time. Like this right here. Over 200 years ago, Jose Palau, energy, even like the biblical grain of mustard seed, will remove mountains. Now let's think about that. Over 200 years ago, they were talking about laws of attraction. They were talking about energy and faith. 1965, Earl Shobe, Jim Rohn's mentor, did a seminar on it. You could search it out. It's on the internet. Search out that. Is the world's greatest seminar I've ever heard. It's the best hour of my life. Every time I hear it, I get more excited. In the beginning, it's hard to hear, and then it clears up. It's phenomenal. Focus your energy. Attract attention to what we put. Sorry, got it. Focus your energy. We give attention and energy to, we attract. What we give attention to or energy we attract. What does that mean? You're focusing on what? I'm focusing on, let's say I'm focusing on this, right? All my energy is on this right now. It's not on 14 other things. You see? What you put your energy to, you will attract. If you're focused on negative, you're going to attract the negative people. If you focus on positive, you're going to attract the right type of people. When you're out and about, I have my business cards with me all the time. When I'm out and about and I meet somebody and they ask me what I do, and I tell them I'm a trading educator or a trader, I give them the whole IML spiel. I attract. I don't sit and spout negative. When somebody hits me with negative, I wipe it away, focus on something good. What we hold is vivid images in our minds we attract, just like that gentleman with that car. He, right down to the nuts and bolts, was expression to me. Even the gas tanker, how it plugs in, he has it so vivid in his mind. He's attracting it. We attract what we focus on, good or bad. The energy you emit will trigger the universe to immediately change and adjust. The universal change will happen only if we're in alignment with what we truly focus on. So think about that. If you're focused on success, if you're focusing on maybe meeting people or building a particular business or trading or IML, whatever you're focused on, you will attract the right people. You will attract the right energy. You just have to have these vivid images in your mind. I've been trying to make a low-carb pizza, believe it or not. And I've been going bananas for weeks trying to figure this out. And every night after work, I got my flours and I mix it all together. And last night I made a perfect low-carb pizza. Almond flour, tapioca flour. I was putting this and that, and it worked. But it could be for, I'm just giving an example. It could be for anything, business, pleasure, anything. When I had lost my golden retriever, he had died a couple of years ago. And in 2011, I had wanted to get another one. I waited a year and I started focusing on a golden retriever, a girl, a small golden retriever. This is what I wanted, one that was about a year old. And lo and behold, I go on Craigslist one day, and right there, 5 minutes before, on July 24th of 2012, I see a picture of my current dog, Ronnie. Her birthday, she just was posted. I literally curled the girl up. Her name is Dara. She's on my Facebook all the time. She always visits Ronnie. I called her up and I said, hold her. I'm coming to get her. I wanted her sight unseen because it was vivid in my mind. It's all I focused on. And the universe did what it had to do. And for some reason, I went on Craigslist and I saw her. Everything aligned itself. It could be anything you focus on and focus your energy. Do you guys follow? You got to harness the sun like a magnifying glass. You got to have a laser vision. Okay? What does that mean? If you take a magnifying glass and you have the sun in the middle of the summer and it's 100 degrees out, it could be 80 degrees, but you take that sun, those rays that are thousands and thousands of quadrillions of miles above, and you take a magnifying glass, and you take the magnifying glass and you put your other hand out and you make a dot on your hand, that little bright dot. You'll burn your hand. You'll burn paper. You'll burn anything because you're harnessing the energy of the sun through a magnifying glass, and you're gonna harness that power. We want to send out such powerful energy that it will return to you 100 times the power. Hold on. So you got to ask the universe for help. You got to reach out for the universe. Now I'm using the word universe. Some people may call it God, Allah, universe, energy. You put whatever word you want there. Universe to me is general, neutral, and doesn't offend anybody. And it's easy. The universe is like your assistant, ready, willing, and able to help you, believe it or not. All you have to do is ask. If you don't ask, the universe doesn't know what you want. If I go to a diner and I'm sitting at a diner or a restaurant and the waitress or server comes up to me and says, well, what would you like? What would you like to drink? And I look at her and I laugh. And she goes, okay, what would you like? And I go, give me whatever. And she comes back with a glass of water. And I say, I didn't want water. I want some soda. And she comes back with a Coke. I don't want Coke. I want Sprite. Give me, you understand? So she comes back with a Sprite. And you say, I didn't want a Sprite. I wanted a diet Sprite. You see? You got to be specific that when you want something, you have to be specific and order it from the universe as though you were ordering from a restaurant. You have to be so specific that if you want something, you got to be specific. Just like Earl Shove says in his seminar. All right? About that Cadillac that we talked about. You can have what you want effortlessly if you ask for it. See, you could ask, if you want to build IML and you want to have a big team, you just have to be specific. Specific in how you want to approach it. We saw this SMS system that we've built, and it's coming out like very shortly. We saw the vision prior. We saw the power prior. We saw the design prior. And then I had to get it on paper. Then I had to work with a designer to write a blueprint. And then we had to start connecting everything. And then we had to evolve it. You see? And now it's become something pretty cool. That once it's released, it's going to take a lot of pressure off of you who helps people come in. A $19.95 cost for a 14-day trial. Every day they're getting a video message, a message. They're getting full support from our company, full support from our team. Put them right into the system. Give them the opportunity. We're taking away the part where give me $1,000 to get in and use the product and then come back. No, we're giving you those 14 days. You see, we have the 14-day refund. I figured let's give them 14 days because they'll know in 14 days if it's for them or not. That way they don't have to turn around in 14 days and say, well, I don't know. You know what? Have it for 14 days. If you like it, they'll upgrade. You see? What we have coming is powerful. We're within, and I see Trish is on with us. Trish, thank you. Thank you for all the work you've put in and helped with. Believe it before you see it. Believe in the impossibles. Opportunities are boundless if you can only believe and ask for them. The universe loves things to happen in rapid speed. Focus and energy. We're coming to, I got a lot of different slides. Stick with me. Don't leave, okay? This right here, if you understand what I'm talking about, this is a life changer. It's a game changer for you, all right? Up until now, in iMarkets Live, you haven't heard me speak about this stuff. This is what it's all about. This is the common thread that ties traders, entrepreneurs, network marketers, or anybody with a goal and dream, or anybody with a pulse to be a success. Those who want it. The ability to tap into an infinite source is your gift from the higher power, from the universe. It has been since day one in your life. Since day one, you've had the power. Okay? Think about that. I'm going to speak about that a little bit more. Our emotional, spiritual, and mental state must be in harmony with our goals, dreams, and subconscious mind. Our emotional, spiritual, mental state must be in harmony with our goals, dreams, and subconscious minds. It's what they say. Everything has to line up perfectly. You can't be sitting and trying to kick a goal from the middle of the field blindly and it goes off into the stands. You have to know that when you kick it, there's so much velocity, so much power coming from that foot at a certain angle, at a certain direction, like a golfer, like a goalie, like a hockey player. There's a certain direction. There's a goal. Can you imagine not having everything in harmony? When they hit the puck, it'll go shooting to the stands in the middle of the field. Has to be in harmony. Your whole focus. Do you think when Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer of all time, or maybe he is, maybe he's not, to me he's the greatest golfer of all time, when he's shooting for a hole that's hundreds of yards down, he's trying to take a little ball and put it into a cup. Do you think his emotional, his spiritual, his mindset is in harmony with his goals, his dreams, his subconscious mind? Everything's lined up. So what you're attracting in your life is a direct result of the energies and emissions and vibrations you're emitting. We all emit certain vibrations. Like I said, a dog can know if you're nervous or not. You see? And if you get excited, they'll get excited. If you scream, they'll get excited. If you laugh, they get excited. If you're calm, they're calm. The energy you put out is directly related to what you have accomplished until now. Believe it or not, your success or failure in life is a result of what you have asked for. So let's stop right there. However old you are in life, stop. Look at what you've accomplished, good or bad. Look at where you are exactly, good or bad. You've asked for it. You've asked for that. Do you have a good marriage? Do you have kids that love you? Do you have a good family? Do you have a nice career? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have everything that you want? You've asked for it. You see? Nobody else has done it to you. You put it out. So now's the time to start changing and asking for more. And as we said, if you continue to focus on what you have today, you're going to continue to have the same results, good or bad. A minor shift in your thought, just like a little golfer can shift his putt, can alter your future. Just refocus your thoughts on what you want rather than what you have. Okay. Here's something important. Successful people ask for gifts, just like they are a child at Christmas asking for presents. Think about this. Those of you who have kids, or when you were a kid, when you're young, and let's just say you were celebrating Christmas, or whatever religion you were, that you would get a gift. We'll take Christmas, for example. You teach a kid when they're young, write out a note to Santa Claus. Have you been good? Have you been naughty or nice? Write down everything you want for Christmas. And the kid will write down everything on a piece of paper. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And take it and you mail it to Santa Claus, right? And all that child, all you thought about as a kid was, I'm going to get that big gym toy, that super duper toy. I'm going to get this for Christmas. Santa's going to bring this to me. What is that 5-year-old child, that 10-year-old kid thinking? What did you do when you were a kid? The same thing. You were talking about your goals. You were writing them down. It wasn't until after the point where you realized Santa may be not so real, unless some of you still think he is. It's okay. But what it was us as children being taught how to write our goals down and how to have goals and speak about it to the point where then we got older. And our parents and the whole world told us we couldn't do that. But they taught us that as kids. Think about that. You have the infinite power. What you think and mentally perceive will come into your reality. The conscious mind programs that subconscious mind. And we've discussed this. You have the power to tap into that infinite wealth and subconscious. And basically, we just have a little bit more of the no limitations right here. Now, what's important is your subconscious will go to work for you. Asleep, awake, it'll tap into the universe. It'll give you what you want. Once you put it into action, it becomes a snowball. And it'll continue to work for you 24 hours a day. Once you've aligned yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in harmony with what you want, it'll work for you 24 hours a day. Your intentions will become your manifestations. You can manifest anything if you just manifest anything. If you just put your attention to it, your focus, like that laser beam from the sun going through the magnifying glass. A child, as I said, is emotionally attached to his Christmas list, wakes up in the morning and finds all the presents under the tree. The child is learning how to manifest its thoughts into realities. Think about that. That's deep. You're teaching a kid to already make their goals. So if you're doing that, don't ever stop. Okay. Now, we heard of the laws of attraction. There's the laws of belief, there's the laws of expectation, there's the laws of attraction, the laws of time, the laws of action, and the laws of compensation. And by putting all these laws together, belief, expectation, attraction, time, and action, you'll then have that law of compensation. Nothing is overnight, it takes time, but as you obey the proper laws of the universe, then you will get compensated in whatever you want. That was my dog King. Who's your daddy now? So you want to do something and you want to create a plan. You want to do something magical. You want to write out your goals. I had dinner recently with somebody and they wrote out everything. And I took note of that they had a book and they wrote down everything. A book that I talked about, something they mentioned. They wrote down everything. There's something magical about writing things down. If you fail to have a plan to win, you automatically have a plan to lose. Imagine that football team, a football game. I don't care if it's soccer or U.S. football. With no end zone, no goal, there's no need, there's no point, there's no reference. They're just going to run around. You need a goal. So you got to develop that game plan, either that trading or marketing, the methodologies that go behind it. Do you make a business plan? Have you made a business plan yet? Okay? For trading, for network marketing, for whatever business you're in, have you wrote down your plan? What's your plan to sponsor 10? What's your plan to sponsor 20? What's your plan to trade XYZ? What's your pattern? Okay? All the positive thinking in the world is useless unless you actually have technicals behind it, a plan. So they work hand in hand, technicals and the mental side, okay? We work hand in hand. You want to create a new business plan for yourself, a new model. Start from today. Wipe the slate clean, right? Some of the people I've listened to in the past, Tony Robbins and Jim Osteen and Joel Osteen, Norman Vincent Peale, Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Jim Rome. There's The Secret. Now, you got that brain chatter. Fear is the most powerful emotion. Fear of failure and fear of success. Do you believe and do you realize people will fail because they're scared and they're going to and they can't succeed because they're scared. They're scared of success. I've talked about the other night I had a conversation with the team and I said, look, you want to sponsor 20 people. Okay? And I told them how to break it down. And one person came to me and said, well, what do I do with all the other people? If I get too many people, then I'm not going to know what to do. They were scared to succeed. They were making excuses about success. So you got to remove that. All right? You got to remove that constant chatter that's going to cause you to fail. Like I said, you have the devil and angel on each of your shoulders. Get rid of your ego. Hope you know I don't have an ego. I never did. Get rid of the ego. If you have an ego, if you think you're better than now, get rid of that. That's the first thing. All right? You need to train your brains like Pavlov's dog. All right? For instance, when I say to Ronnie, if I say treat, she starts salivating. My dog, treat, she'll start salivating. These are trigger words. Okay? Just like the pots and pans. If they move, she runs. So negative words trigger a shutdown, or or positive words trigger positive affirmations, or negative words trigger negative action. Positive triggers trigger positive. If you knew there was $1 million diamond on the beach and it was hidden under a big pile of sand, how hard would you work for it? Would you make excuses, or would you do whatever it takes to find it? You got to have that constant hunger for success, and there's no room for complacency. My dog King Kong, he had no fear. He had no fear. The last day he was on earth, the last day when he died, the same day, he was trying to protect us from somebody outside. He was trying to go through the door because there was somebody outside that didn't belong. And 2 hours later, he had a heart attack and died. He died trying to protect us. He was an old dog at his age, but he had no fear to the day he died. All right? So you got to be a gladiator of success. Raise that sword to victory. Okay? You got stories of comebacks. You got Serena Williams, all right, who overcame. All right? So the positive affirmations you got to start giving yourself. There's limitless supply and it's all mine. I release the need for financial insecurity, and go on and on and on. Allow yourself to prosper. You can say whatever you want. I'm just giving you some ideas. All right? And at the end of my day, typically, and you want to end your day every day, when you go to sleep, and you can repeat this with me, good night, boss. I'm giving myself another raise tomorrow. I'm going to create more wealth tomorrow. I'm a winner. I'm a success. I'll do whatever it takes to succeed. I'll pay the full price. I don't want any shortcuts. Shortcuts are for losers. I want to go the full 15 rounds in my fight. There are no shortcuts to success. I will not and cannot be denied because I'm a winner. I'm hungry to win. I'm like a pit bull eating a bone. I will not give up for any reason. I'm a gladiator. I'm ready to fight. I'll fight the good fight. Pay any price. Do whatever it takes because I'm a winner and I will not be denied. That's it. Period. Now I'm saving this. I just hit the stop button on the video. Let's see if it saves.